On today's episode of Scammers Busted, we meet Okechukwu Valentine Osuji, a criminal who stole over $6 million through business email compromise scams. This man used nothing but fake emails to destroy lives, wiping out millions of dollars and ultimately getting arrested. Meanwhile, how does someone go from being a convicted criminal to running a global money laundering network? But first, a Canadian victim who lost over $350,000 to a crypto scam have received their money back thanks to the EFCC. It all began in June 2021 when a Canadian woman found herself falling in love with a stranger she met on Facebook. Unfortunately for her, this stranger happened to be Omokwa Precious Afure, a scammer who was using a fake identity to deceive her. Over time, Precious managed to convince this woman to invest in cryptocurrency using a platform called LegacyFXTraders.online. The victim, trusting her new Facebook lover, invested $355,000 into what seemed like a lucrative opportunity, but the reality is, it was all a carefully crafted scam. Few months after, the woman realized she has just been scammed after Precious disappeared into thin air, and so she quickly informed Canadian authorities. Tracing the Bitcoin transactions led the investigators to Nigeria, where the criminal mastermind Precious Afure was based. In Nigeria, the EFCC took over. They launched a thorough investigation, leading to the arrest of Precious. Assets like a $150,000 land, which he bought from Lucky Uchechukwu, a manager with Cubana Group, was seized. And funds both in cash and crypto that traced back to the scam was also seized. Eventually, in December this year, the court officially declared that $225,000 of the stolen funds belonged to the victim and ordered it to be returned. While not the full amount, is still better than nothing. Imagine using your business to hide stolen money, not once, but twice. This is the story of Tochukwu Michael Okori, a man who turned fraud into his career and paid the ultimate price. In 2011, Tochukwu was already a convicted fraudster. He was sentenced for wire fraud and money laundering in the US. But instead of turning his life around, he decided to take his criminal enterprise to the next level. From 2017 to 2019, Tochukwu was the mastermind of an international money laundering scheme. Using two fake companies, TMO Consulting LLC and Collective Intelligence Forensics LLC, he helped to funnel money from victims of fraud to his criminal partners across the world. Victims of romance scams, business email compromise, and other fraudulent schemes were left devastated as their hard-earned money vanished into thin air thanks to Tochukwu. Some of the stolen money was used to buy luxury cars, which was then shipped to Nigeria. But you can't outrun the law forever. The FBI traced the transactions back to Tochukwu. His previous conviction made him an easy target, and his fake companies all linked back to him. Eventually, Tochukwu was convicted of conspiracy to commit money laundering. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison for his crimes. 39-year-old Okechukwu Valentine Osuji, the man who carried out a large-scale business email compromise attack against US companies, have just been jailed. Operating out of Nigeria, Malaysia, and the United States, Okechukwu and his criminal partners wreaked havoc on the US. They specialized in using spoofed fake emails that looked very legitimate to trick their victims into transferring money to their own accounts. For years, they defrauded hundreds of people, including banks and NGOs. One of the most heartbreaking stories involved an elderly woman who lost her entire life savings. She unknowingly gave Okechukwu complete access over her bank account. The criminal used the account to receive stolen funds and then withdrew all her money. In 2020, Okechukwu was arrested in Malaysia and extradited to the United States. The extent of his criminal operations was revealed. He has stolen over $6 million. Eventually, he was found guilty of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, and aggravated identity theft. On December 4, 2024, Okechukwu Valentine Osuji was sentenced to 8 years in prison and was ordered to pay restitution to his victims. His criminal partner, Tolulokpe Bondude, had already been sentenced to 2 years in prison earlier this year, while another criminal partner, John Wamuyiga, remains in Malaysia awaiting extradition. Okechukwu's victims didn't just lose money, they lost their homes, livelihoods, and peace of mind. The impact of cybercrimes are severe. This is why there is an urgent need for more cybersecurity professionals. Send me a message to start a career in cybersecurity. Thanks for watching. If stories like this intrigue you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any update. Remember, knowledge is power, and the more you know about cybercrime, the better you can protect yourself and others. If you have topics you'd like us to cover, drop them in the comment below. Until next time, remember, crime doesn't pay. Stay safe.